Hello, it is the end of day number 42. Yeah! So, how we doing? Well, what we have had over the past week is a very weird, fluctuating, undulating sort of plateau. Presumably because I haven't exactly been amazingly strict. But, you know, it's come to an end today, I hope. We actually have a bit of a weird story about that. So I've said a couple of times now, I've been weighing myself every single day, just for my records keeping and everything, you know? Just so that I can look back on everything and say, all right, okay, well, here I was in a plateau, here I was struggling a little bit, and, you know, instead of weighing myself once a week and I might have lost a bunch and then come back up, or I might have been on a plateau the entire week, instead of getting upset about that, this way I can sort of keep track of it and see it and go, oh, okay, well, this is what's going on. Or maybe there's like one time every month or something where, like, you know, I gain weight regardless, you know, that sort of thing. So, I stepped on the scales yesterday and, you know, I was still on the plateau. It was still like 119, 120, something about that. And we're talking like very high 119, like 119.8 and 119.9 have been like regular measurements. And I stepped on it yesterday and just 119.9, same as it's always been for the last week and a half or so. And I was like, oh, right, okay. And then this morning I stepped on the scales and it came up and said 106 kilos, which is, you know, this. Now, I knew the moment that I stepped on and it said that was wrong, because I haven't, you know, lost a leg below the knee, and I haven't like lopped off an arm. I've still got both my hands and stuff. So something has gone wrong. So I got off the scales, I got back on, and it came up much more sensible 118.6. And I weighed myself 3 times, and I was 118.6 each time. So, that is today's weigh-in, 118.6 kilos, which is however many pounds, which is however many pounds per day over the past week. Yeah, not bad at all. We're doing pretty good. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Now, hopefully, that number will keep on coming down, because the moment that I get to 117.8 is Celebrity Day. Now, with that being, you know, hopefully within the next couple of days even, I'm gonna be pretty damn happy if I can get down to that. And then, you know, that's one goal out the way. It'll be time for you know, step number 2, which step number 2 is hitting 100. If I can get down solidly onto these things, then yeah, it's gonna be a good time. Right, so all that out the way with, what shall we talk about now? Well, today, got up, didn't have breakfast. Still don't eat breakfast. Terribly sorry. Did have lunch a little bit later though. So lunch, I didn't really have an idea of what I was going to do for me or for Rowan. And I thought, you know, like there was a recipe that Chuck put up for a banh mi sandwich. So I thought, well, like a sandwich, like something like that. Okay, like give that a bash. And I also remember watching maybe about 2 weeks ago, in that sort of ballpark, on an episode of Tinker Tailor Solve a Fry, which is one of the many wonderful shows that the Loading Ready Run crew put out. Kathleen was making a mushroom ragu, and I think she was going. She made it vegetarian, but she said if you replace the butter that was put in it with olive oil, then that would make it vegan. Now, what I did was I went a step further and I just took out the oil entirely. So I followed slightly that and what I remembered of the banh mi, and fried up a bunch of onions and these really big honkin' chunks of mushroom, and I threw on some chili flakes, because I picked up a jar of crushed red pepper chili flakes with a grinder, so threw all of that together and got some crusty bread, what they call shafas yakas, or shafa, like a spicy jack, basically, and slapped it all together. Got a salad box for me and Rowan to share. He had some sweet corn and some lettuce and some cooked pork sort of thing, like a little slice of roasted pork torn up. And I had my sandwich with salad, which, here's the photograph of. Now, there was a bit of a problem with that. I made a hot lunch, and no sooner had I sat down than Rowan had finished his food and was very, very upset and ready to go for his nap. I tried stalling it, didn't work. So within about a minute and a half, he was laid in bed. I was laid down next to him, gave him a big cuddle, and he took about half an hour to fall asleep. Which meant that by the time I got back to eat my sandwich was stone cold. Which is about normal, Oh well, parenting. So I ate my cold fried mushroom and onion sandwich, ate my salad, caught up on episode 4 of Chernobyl. Which, yeah, if you haven't watched it, it's a bit of a hard watch, but it's definitely recommended. If go into it seriously, there's a lot of horrible things that are talked about in it and shown. So, not exactly into seeing such things, don't, but if you can stomach it, watch it. I thought I knew a lot about what had happened with the nuclear disaster. I did not, and it is ridiculously well researched. So far, the biggest complaint that has been raised about historical accuracy is, oh, well, if you look in this wide shot of this part of Pripyat, some of the balconies of the Soviet apartment blocks have modern plastic coverings, like the moldings that hold your windows. Some of them have that on, and that's about it. It's ridiculously accurate. There's podcasts about it. There's a live tweeting from a guy called Scala, I want to say, or Slava. I think his name is Slava. And the reason I get confused with that is there's a band I listen to called Scala. But anyway, so yeah, Slava, he live tweets while he watches the episodes and talks about the accuracy and what certain things mean that Western audiences might not get, because the Russian soul is a very interesting thing, and it's very, very hard to understand and hard for us to grasp. But yeah, it's impeccable. It really is. It's beyond anything that I thought it could be, and you know, it's HBO as well. Like, HBO's got a pretty solid pedigree for things like that, with, you know, Band of Brothers and what was the other one that I watched? It was Generation Kill. You know, Band of Brothers, Generation Kill, and a whole bunch of other programming that HBO has come out with. If it's, you know, in any way involving historically accurate representations of stuff, they're pretty good. Anywho, right, so that was lunch, disappointing as it was. Came to evening, and you know, sort of thought, oh well, you know, like, what? Haven't got a clue what I'm going to put together, and went through to Saguta's work and picked her up. Took like a folding trolley sort of thing, so that we could pick up the giant fan that has just been delivered, because it's warm and we need coolness. And now we've got it. Hooray! So I need to put that together after I've edited this and whatnot. Came back home. Saguta heated up some onions and stuff that she'd fried, and some mushrooms that she'd fried, and some steak. And she had that with a bunch of stuff. Rowan ate a little bit of my last batch of my burrito rice, and I had the leftover mushrooms and onions that I cooked earlier on with the rest of my rice, folded into a couple of tortillas. I put the tiniest last little bit. We're talking like maybe like 2 spoonfuls, 2 tablespoons into the last of the bread that we had left over from like yesterday. No, from earlier on this morning, I should say. Yeah, and all of that was really, really good. I also found. Sorry, we've just had a bit of a move around because my knee was hurting in the position that I was in. We've also had a bit of an interesting find. It only crops up every now and again, which is why I've bought it and why I've drank it. Which is there's a thing that you can get over here called Mezzo Mix or Schwip or something like that. It's, you know, it's basically a carbonated soft drink. Now, what it is essentially Coke, or, you know, like cola, mixed with orange soda put together in about equal amounts. It's a very interesting flavour. We don't have it in the UK. I have no idea if you guys over in America have it, but there we go. But it's an extremely common thing over here. Now, you can get, you know, normal with sugar and caffeine and all of that. You can get caffeinated without sugar, like the diet version. The reason I picked up this is because it doesn't have caffeine in it either. It's without sugar, without caffeine. Now, Saguta will drink it if I do not. And she'll probably drink, you know, a bunch of it anyway, because she likes the decaffeinated stuff. But I bought a couple of bowls, and I read through the ingredients list, and I made sure there's no sugar, there's no code names for sugar. It's got aspartame in it, but, you know, it's a diet, so of course it's got aspartame in it. Checked everything else, and apart from some E numbers which I think is E150D, which is like a colouring sort of thing. Apart from that, nothing. No salt, no sugar. It's not even like an inverted sugar syrup or anything like that to you know, give it the weird, you know, it's not corn syrup or anything like that. It's literally just water, aspartame, a colouring, and some flavourings from fruit juices and that sort of thing. So yeah, I had some of that with my dinner, and then some afterwards with a couple of interestingly flavoured Oreos. We've got like we don't get them that often, where they usually you'll find just an Oreo, like your normal plain cream sort of thing, but on occasion we get some of the weirder flavours. So I managed to find chocolate brownie and peanut butter. So I gave a couple of each of those a try. Peanut butter is interesting, definitely. The chocolate brownie also, it's very strange. But yeah, so I haven't been. Well, no, that's not accurate. I can't really say, oh, I've not been good today, because I have for the most part. And given that I went out at a pretty high pace in order to get through to Saguta's work on time for her getting kicked out, and I was lugging around both the pushchair and the trolley, and then, you know, had the fan as well that I'm carting around on the trolley, and the shopping and everything like that over the course of about 15-20 minutes. I think that's probably excused me on a few calories. It's a little bit more than I feel like I usually do. But what was actually quite nice was, even though I was walking at a fair pace, even though I was going quite quickly, by my standards anyway, I didn't actually get out of breath. Which, that's probably got something to do with, you know, losing a fair amount of weight. Like, we're actually just under 14 kilos now. I'm fairly certain last week I just about hit 13. Or I was just about to, I can't remember. But yeah. Health benefits without exercise. I'll take it. Absolutely, I'll take it. Like, at some point in the future, I am going to have to, you know, start exercising. But I think weightlifting and stuff like that is going to be a little bit easier without the current handicap, you know, and running and jogging and stuff. I have done a colour run before. When we were living in Bristol, me and Saguta, you know, we trained and we went running, and we did the Couch to 5K app, and she carried on with the 10K and things like that. And we went off and we did a colour run, which is where you do a fairly sedate, relaxed 5-kilometre run, and people throw paint pigment at you. That was fun. I enjoyed it once it was finished and I could stop running. You know, but yeah, I don't know. It might be a while before I go off to do one of those again. Right. That's everything. My phone's rapidly running out of space for more footage, so I'm just going to say thank you very much. I'll see you tomorrow for day 43. And yeah, have a good one. Don't go anywhere. I'm hijacking this, even though it's me that's making the videos. Anyway, right. So I went and found all those photographs of the colour run, and that was a bad idea, because that made me look through really, really old photographs of me on Facebook, and I just want to share a couple which involve such wonderful things as when I had hair and was thinner. So without further ado, here you go. Oh, hello, kitty. Hi, kitty. You need a couple? Yeah, I know, I'm sure. What a good little kitty. Anyway, yeah, here you go. Bye-bye.